Hey, how's it going everyone? In this video I'm going to show you how to assemble your cup holder that you've just 3D printed. So these have been smoothed with acetone smoothing. I'll make a separate video for my setup and how I managed to get it to look so nice. But in this video I'm just going to show you how to assemble it. It's a very quick and easy process and should be very painless as well. Okay. The first thing that we want to do is to glue these little bottom pieces onto the base of the main cup holder. Now, prints flat like this because it's just easier to get on most 3D printers, especially printing ABS or ASA tends to warp on the edges. So to have a nice flat base is always the best, rather than printing it like this with your supports having to support this whole region. Now what you want to do is just to make sure that you align these little tabs. You'll see in here is a little gap, a little section that's missing, and that's solely for these little colored caps that can alters the color of your light that comes through from the little light bulb. So the stock BMW is like an amber orange color, and of course you can print red or blue or whatever color you want, but just make sure that that aligns. I don't know if it's too clear on the camera, but just make sure those little holes align with where your color inserts are going into. The other one printed the exact same, but it doesn't really matter where you put that color insert. Now you can use a few methods to glue these. Myself, I prefer a strong adhesive, so I'm just using a normal 2-part epoxy. You can also use contact adhesive, can even try super glue, whatever really works for you. It's not really under a lot of pressure or stress, but you want something that will last. So what you do is you take your glue and you just place it on the edge of this rim over here. So you just want to go around, put a nice decent bead all the way around, and then we do the same for the other one. Also try to not get any glue on the inside here. Don't get any glue in there because it's going to interfere with the way these things slot in and clip. Now once you have everything ready for gluing, what I like to do, especially if you've made this nice and acetone smoothed, it does scratch a little bit easy, so just grab a cloth, you can just place it upside down and align that hole. Give it a few turns left and right just to get all the glue spread out, and there we go. Same for that one. Turn it a little bit, and then just double check that you don't have any glue that's pressed out into that cavity, into that hole, into this gap over there. If there's nothing in there, then it's perfect. Now it's finished. Now it's ready to let the glue dry. Once it's dry, then you can start installing it, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm just going to grab another one that I did previously to show you how it looks and how to place these in. Again, very easy process. Okay, so in this one it's already dried, it's nice and strong. So number one, you want to take these little end caps. These, of course, like I said, it changes the color, and you can just align it. You notice there's a little angle on this and it lines up with this side. It will go very easily in, basically drop in. If you put it in the wrong side, it will have some resistance. So it drops in, and it's got these little tabs on the side, this little raised indentation. I'm not sure if you can see that, and that just helps secure it in place without using glue. But of course, if you want to use hot glue or anything just to keep it there, you may use that. So you can see it's sticking out a little bit, and you just give it a press and it clicks in. Same for this side, slots in, clicks in, and then lastly the end one, same thing, slots in and then clicks in. And that's how you put the little let's say colored pieces in that makes the color of the light that nice amber orange that is on all the stock E36s, and I think E30s and E46s. So just to maintain that nice OEM plus look. Of course, like I said, you can print these in whatever you want, so have at it. Okay, now two things that I want to show before we go to the install into the car. This is still assembling this whole system, so I would advise to slot this in once you're in the car, and these as well. But I'm just going to show it here because it's easier on the table and maybe the lighting is a little bit better than showing it already installed in a center console. So once you've bolted these two screws down into the car and it's firm, what you want to do is you can take this, and you can see it has little clips all around. It just slots in basically from the top like this and goes in, and it'll clip in place. So it's designed like that so it can insert while this is already installed. You can have this out, maybe at a later date you decide you do want this because it looks very nice and you want to install it. You don't have to take this whole thing out, you just put it in and then it clips in place. Right, now these little hole caps, you're going to have two screws that are going to show up on your in these little holes there, and these just make it so it's nice and you don't have to look at screws, and it just covers up that hole. So these very simple. It also has a little notch on the edge there. You can see it's a little indentation, and that's essentially for if you ever want to remove this, you can get a screwdriver into that little hole and just pry up, pop it out. Ideally, you can imagine trying to get a screwdriver in from this angle. It's not going to really work that easy for you, but from this angle, a lot more easier. So just make sure these little notches, you align them on that side. If you do align it down, it's not a train smash because you can always just put a screwdriver in there and twist it and rotate the whole assembly out so that you can pry it out more easier. So again, the way these are installed, you can just place them into the holes. It will drop down. You see it's nice and loose. There's no, let's say, friction in yet. So again, place it into the hole, give it a little push to just get past the little initial ridge. Then it should just drop into place, and then these are press fit in. So it's got a little tab at the bottom that clicks in. So you notice, clicked in, doesn't rattle. The previous version that I had did rattle, but I fixed that. So again, when you're driving around and you haven't clicked it in place, you can hear it rattle. What you want to do, just click it in. No rattles. And if I might say, it looks very nice and clean now. No more exposed hardware. Okay, so just a quick demonstration before we jump into the car. Once this is installed, bolted down, you can put your caps on. You can see mine has a hole. This is because this console came from a cassette holder version. That's why I also designed this. For those of you that do have a hole in your center console, mine currently I have the armrest version. The armrest version that I have doesn't have this, so it's blank. So you can run with or without this little piece. But again, for those that do want to have this nice black plastic look continued on, you can just slot this in, press down, and then it's clipped into place on the back. It's not going to come out very easily, and that's about it. That's your install finished. So this is just an overview of how to assemble it before you go into the install. Again, just glue these two mounts, put your colored light filters in, and then go to the install. Okay, let's jump through there and I'll show you how it's done.